taking here a page from the book, or a page, or a section from the Wikipedia entry. No, nonetheless, okay, no less than the Wikipedia entry for the intent and incitement in the Gaza genocide. I kid you not, there is a Wikipedia entry by this title. Wikipedia is known to be not very pro-Israel as a general source, so take anything you find there with a grain of salt, and if it pertains to Israel, you can use the whole package, not just a grain. A good spoon at least. Okay, so you can see that the Amalek section, I just highlighted it. If you want, you can read what's on screen, but the point that I'm making is that Israel, or Benjamin Netanyahu, who mentioned Amalek, and remember what Amalek did to you, and how Amalek should be completely blotted out. Okay, was accused of genocidal intent. Why? Because in the context of Amalek, we just read it a verse ago. והמתה מאיש ועד אישה, מעולל ועד יונק, משור ועד שא, מגמל ועד חמור. You should kill everybody. So if Benjamin Netanyahu is saying about the Palestinians that they're Amalek, then he is actually saying kill them all. That's what they were trying to say in the ICJ, okay, International Court of Justice. Is it indeed a fair accusation? Because indeed, in the case of Amalek, that is what was commanded, and if he invokes it, he invokes what should be done to them. So I think that I saw some of the comments and so forth, and how he did, the Yad Vashem said that it is, and they're right about it. It's not to talk about what we should do, but rather to talk about what was done to us, as was done in the case of the Holocaust. You can see that verse in the context of the Holocaust. You can see incorporated in art during the 50s, 60s, and even today. This became something to remember the Holocaust by, and so forth and so on. So that is a correct, I'm not saying it's incorrect what they said, but I think it's irrelevant if you go back to the text that was actually said by Benjamin Netanyahu. Okay? They are quoting him based on what he said on the 28th of October. But surprise, surprise, they have not brought the full context of what he said on October 28th of 2023, guys. Just not too far after the events of October 7th. And this was the letter that he sent. It's actually a bit long, and I don't want to read the whole thing, but I do want to go over the context just so you see that he explicitly talks about Hamas. Okay? Explicitly talks about Hamas, not about the whole people of Gaza. Is it right for him to talk only about Hamas in this context? That's a debate I'm willing to have. What is the responsibility of the people who chose Hamas and went with it? Could they have done differently? What could they have done differently? Do they bear responsibility? It's a discussion. It's a discussion. Okay, what is the, you know, and it can go for every war. Like Hiroshima and Nagasaki were not like main, it's like military compounds. There were cities. They like I'm sure they were industrial and they had industry there. Okay, as was with the story of Dresden and Berlin, as was with London and other cities. Um, that's a different discussion. It's not the discussion that should be had based on what Prime Minister Netanyahu said here. Okay, right. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. The current fight against the murderers of Hamas is another chapter in the generations long story of our national resilience. Remember what Amalek did to you. So, first of all, it talks about what was done to us, national resilience of us. Okay, and it's a long chain of people who tried to deal away with Israel. So, Yad Vashem is right. But even if you say, okay, it also talks about who did it and what did it. He talks about Hamas. We will always remember the horrific scenes of the massacre on Shabbat Simchat Torah, 7 October 2023, with the murders of our brothers and sisters, wounded, hostages, fallen, and so forth. Going to war, purpose to destroy the brutal and murderous Hamas ISIS enemy. Okay? Bring back the hostages, restore the security of the country, the citizens, and the children. And it goes on, guys. It goes on to the long, right? You can see Joshua, Deborah, King David, Judah Maccabee, Bar Kokhba, Trumpeldor, the underground movement, the idea of security. So there is history here. And may God make the enemies and so forth. Netanyahu is not a religious person, but it's part of our culture, even for people who are not actively practicing Judaism, to be part of that tradition. It's something interesting about Judaism. But as I said, Benjamin Netanyahu, in his statement, October 28th, is talking about Hamas. Hamas, okay? Hamas, ISIS. Okay, so a little bit about, and obviously in the accusation, they choose to accuse Netanyahu. Again, whether I like Netanyahu or not is irrelevant for this question. He's accused because he is our prime minister. Okay, so even if some of his politics I don't like, let's say, it's irrelevant for this question, okay? And that's the question of Amalek and the relevance of the maftir and the haftarah of this weekly portion for our daily lives. And we started with a war, and we're ending with a war. We started with the fact that the atmosphere here is a little bit, we don't know what's going to happen, and every day, people are canceling plans, flying, not flying.